This time 3 years ago, Al Davis excused Mike Shanahan and hired the Hall of Famer to be Art Shell, who was a great player with the Raiders. In fact, this is his 24th year in the silver and black as a player, assistant, and now head coach. Jeff Jaeger, he was the offense last week. 4 field goals to beat San Francisco 12-6. Donnie Elder and Nate Lewis are deep for the Chargers. It's to Lewis's side. Boy, that Jaeger has a leg. He showed it from field goal range. He shows it on the kickoff as he buries it deep in the end zone, and a flag is down at the 35 of the Raiders. They may have been offside. Jerry Markbright in the white hat, the referee to the Raiders, who have been stuck at 17 or under in the preseason, never scored more than 17. Didn't score 17 in any of their 5 games thus far this year. When they did, they lost. 2 losses. There they are, 17 against Houston. They were defeated. 17 at Atlanta. They were defeated. But the 3 home games, they have beaten Denver, Indianapolis, and San Francisco, scoring 16, 16, and 12 points. As we said, the preseason was no better. And this scoring slump started in the AFC Championship game in Buffalo when they were bombarded by Buffalo.
And Al Davis has put together some great speed athletes.
After the 5-yard penalty, it's to Nate Lewis. Lewis has a seam. And Lewis down the sidelines. Caught by Sam Grady. And it took an Olympic gold medalist to deny a Charger touchdown on the opening kickoff at the Raider 41-yard line.
And did Lewis do the right thing? Once he breaks, you'll see him just sprint. He's not going to try to make somebody miss. He's going to use every bit of speed he's got. Excellent blocking outside. Now look at this. Just run. Just run. Don't cut back. Get everything you can out of it. And so his decision was good. It got him an extra 10 yards.
56-yard return for Lewis, who happens to lead the Chargers in receptions with 14. He's in the slot left. Rod Bernstein, 4th in the AFC, 6th in the NFL, gets the carry, and the former tight end star from Texas A&M and the #1 pick, tough to bring down, gains 3 to the 38. John Freeze from the University of Idaho, the starter for San Diego, started his first game at the end of last year here in the Coliseum. Swain Moten, Hall, Richardson, Thompson, a big offensive line. They certainly can block for the run. Bernstein, the runner, another couple of tackles, although they're listed at H-back, Derek Walker and Arthur Cox, the tight end, with Miller and Lewis, the wide receivers. The posse formation, 2 big tight ends go out, and McEwen, who's caught 12, and Ronnie Harmon 13 go in. 2nd and 6. And Freeze to throw. Going long for Miller, too long. Covered by Lionel Washington. Play well against the 49ers last week. Long, Golick, Davis, and Townsend. A lot of pressure there against the passer. Moss from Tampa Bay, Ellison and Benson, the linebackers. McDaniel and Washington, they were all pro corners against the Niners. Lott, the former San Francisco star, and Eddie Anderson, the safety. When they go to the nickel, those 4 men come in. Smith and Wallace usually in a down lineman position. And the 2 extra defensive backs.
Of all those people, Winston Moss is the guy that's really made a difference with the Raiders. He's come in from Tampa and done a beautiful job.
On 3rd and 6 underneath, incomplete, broken up by Terry McDaniel, and that's what he did in harassing the top receiver of the Niners last week, Jerry Rice. Miller thought he was held.
Well, Miller was not beyond 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, so McDaniel is right on top of him, just won't let go of him. That's all legal. And one of the problems is Freeze, the quarterback, just didn't wait long enough to get Miller completely open once he could start running. So again, 2 incomplete passes. Basically, it's the young quarterback just learning the game in the NFL.
Now in this situation last week at home against Kansas City, Dan Henning gambled on 4th down just outside the 35, but he's going to have John Kidd apparently punt here.
Well, last week Kidd let him down because he'd punt right into the end zone whenever they did punt. And so in this particular case, that's a lost art, punting that ball inside the 20. Punters just don't, for some reason, take it quite seriously enough.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Here, and not worry about touching it down in close. So this 5 yards man, in a sense, help him just unload the ball.
Well, the Chargers get a early break on the kickoff return by Nate Lewis of 56 yards, but unable to capitalize, and now Kidd sends up a floater. Brown fair catch at the 11-yard line. So a minute and a half in, it'll be the Raiders with the ball for the first time as we check the Miller Genuine Draft Light 10-minute ticker. Familiar with that response from LA fans. He and Freeze, the only two starters in the NFL not hitting 50% or more of their passes. And he fumbles on first down, and I believe fell on his own mistake. No, it falls forward, and the Raiders actually gain 3.
He was actually leisurely as he went to take that ball from center. Just very leisurely, and the ball was snapped, and he wasn't ready for it. He just sort of leisurely reaching under there, and the ball comes up, and his hands aren't in position to take it. Now, this is the little detail things that now Jay should have looked for the ball with both hands. He tried to get it with one hand. But these are the little things that keep Schrader from being in that top level of NFL quarterbacking.
It was Steve Smith, the fullback, who alertly fell on the ball as it was kicked forward for a 3-yard gain. We're in the Coliseum in Los Angeles, and Roger Craig with the carries. We welcome those of you who have been watching Seattle and Cincinnati as the Seahawks win at 13-7, and the Bengals still winless on the season, as are the Chargers, who took the opening kickoff, had a terrific return from Nate Lewis, 56 yards into Raider territory, but unable to pick up a first down for Dan Henning. Punted deep, and now it's the Los Angeles Raiders at their own 15-yard line, 3rd down, and about 7. Just underway, 12.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
The Raiders typically will go with 3 wide receivers in this situation. Very simple pass patterns, but they have 3 receivers can go all the way if you can ever get them the ball running.
Tim Brown, the 3rd receiver, and they go to Brown. He is close to the first down at the 20-yard line. Are they going to call it a catch or not? Yes, they call it a catch with Darren Carrington making the stop.
Well, the Chargers were in a zone defense. Brown saw it and stopped. He couldn't do much about it. Jay got him the ball, but there was nowhere to run. So it was a good adjustment by Brown. He's really improving that phase of his game, but the yardage just wasn't going to be there versus that defense.
And now the official measurement. And not enough. So on 4th down, the punting team comes in for the Raiders. Jeff Gossett wearing 7 now. That was the number from Wisconsin, the special teams captain of the Raiders. Gossett sends a beautiful spiral.
Now there should be a return here. There it is.
And Taylor hurtling his way to midfield. So 2 good special teams return. A 56-yard kickoff by Nate Lewis, and now a 24-yard punt return by Kittrick Taylor. As you look at the scores, Houston on its way to an impressive win. The defense helping there. Washington beats Chicago. Detroit rallies against Minnesota. The Jets hang on at Cleveland. Tampa Bay beats Philadelphia. And Miami with a costly win against New England. They've had some key players carried off. Dallas edges Green Bay, and Seattle a victory at Cincinnati. That's the Miller Genuine Draft Light scoreboard. From the 49 of the Raiders, Freeze to Bernstein. And Bernstein ahead for a couple.
That's a tough way to try to win a ball game. Just keep their passing game's just been totally absent all season.
Bernstein came in with 416 yards in the young season, averaging 5 a carry. It's the ball again. They like to run well. Raiders are ready for him. Tom Benson in there, along with Winston Moss and Ricky Ellison, all 3 linebackers.
Now the Raiders can get Anthony Smith in to rush the passer. They can get Wallace in to rush a passer. And there's just enough yardage. The run won't be effective. So the Chargers are at a distinct disadvantage with that young quarterback trying to deal with his pass rush.
Well, San Diego's had no trouble invading the other half of the field. They were 7 out of 10 into Kansas City territory last week, came away with only 13 points. They've been in Raider territory both times here in the first quarter. Now third and long, has a man open and incomplete as Lionel Washington breaks up the intended pass for Nate Lewis.
Well, Lewis ran a good pattern, but At this point of the season, both Lionel Washington and Terry McDaniel are all over people. Tight bump and run, physical, slowing the man down, then cutting underneath. You'll see him cut underneath to make the play.
And a lot of contact, though, Bill.
Well, they're letting him get away with it, Dick. You know, the game is so different now. The officials interpret things differently.
So Kidd to punt again. Former Northwestern star, a Plan B picked by San Diego a year ago. Tim Brown at the 14. Breaks a couple of tackles and gets to the 21-yard line. 31-yard kick, a 7-yard return by Tim Brown. Carrington again with the tackle. Dave Adolph talking with his defense. Done a good job against the run thus far.
Well, they're just loading up and sliding their linebackers with emotion. No question about it. They've got San Diego's number in this game.
Now the Raiders start at the 21-yard line. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. We welcome those of you who have just seen the Dolphins defeat the Patriots 20-10. No score here in Los Angeles. The Raiders' second possession starts just across their own 20, and it's Steve Smith, the fullback from Penn State, barreling for 3 before George Allen Hinkle can make the tackle, number 97.
Both teams are determined to establish the running game, and that has to be the explanation, because they're just hammering right at each other, and the likelihood of breaking a play this early in the game when both defenses are fresh is just not there. The percentages are against that kind of play.
Hard to believe the Raiders, with that running game, now in their 6th game, have not scored a rushing touchdown yet. And they're 3-2. They're winning with defense. Schrader back across the middle to Fernandez, who pays the price but hangs on for a first down. At the 34, Martin Bayless made the hit.
Well, that ball floated over to Fernandez, but on the other hand, Schrader came out of the pocket at just the right moment and showed a lot of poise, finding Fernandez. Now you'll see him set up, pressured from his inside. He looks all the way and see how that ball just floats up in there, bang.
Fernandez still has not gotten up, but what a catch, knowing he was going to get belted. Art Shell, his team has won all 3 home games this year, and they've lost only twice at home since Shell took over now in his 3rd year. Al Davis talked with him before the game and asked him about Bo Jackson. He said Bo will be in town this week and will take his physical examination. He said obviously most people feel that he's not healthy enough to play, but Bo wants to play. He's told Art Shell that. The give to Roger Craig, and the former Niners star breaking tackles and is close to a first down before dragged down by Hinkle and Bird.
Now the Raiders would call this, I think, 16 Trey, a double team block by the tight end and tackle. The fullback Smith kicks his man out, and you'll see that that Smith will block the outside linebacker here, and you'll see the right guard pull and go through the hole. So this is a play that developed by Sid Gilman many years ago. Fullback kick out, guard through the hole, Wisniewski. Roger Craig breaking a tackle. Now that's a well-executed off-tackle run. And the Raiders have, years back, they were famous for this play with Hubbard blocking and the double team block at the point of attack.
There's a man who ran it many times, Bill, Marcus Allen.
Yeah. Marcus could run that so well, because Marcus and Roger Craig both have a feel for getting in behind that guard, pulling up just a little bit. The block is applied, then they break.
Allen, it'll be a couple, maybe 3 weeks before he can return. Knee injury in the opener at Houston. 2nd and inches. And Steve Smith has the first down and more to the Charger 44.
Now Steve Smith, this is an ultimate football player. Virtually every team now has a blocking fullback. This is one of the best in the league. Now he gets a chance to carry the ball. And really, he's blocking for himself. He'll get his pads low underneath people and then just not think he's going to break all the way. Look at him get underneath the tacklers. And that's just how he blocks, the same exact form.
13 yards on the play. Mervin Fernandez, shaken a few plays ago. His back end, he split out to the right. On first down, they're working that defensive left side of the Charger line. Junior Seau, number 55, the brilliant second-year man from Southern California, made the tackle.
Now Seau is going to come from the far side of the field right into the hole. Now this is one of the better players in the league, certainly one of the best second-year players, but they've got Junior Seau playing nose tackle, defensive tackle, outside linebacker, middle linebacker. They think so much of him that they move him around, but on the other hand, he's not getting zeroed in one, or getting a foundation for one position, and I think he's struggling because of it.
Oh, what a beautifully proportioned athlete he is. Smith again. He finds a hole and a first down to the 28-yard line before Bayless, the safety man, can make the stop.
Now either the Chargers are letting down somewhat, or the Raiders have an exceptional running game, because last week the Chargers stopped Okoye in Kansas City. They stopped him dead. Now here's Wisniewski just turning Seau right out of the hole. But the Raiders are running so much better than Kansas City did a week ago.
At the 20, just inside the 29, Dan Henning watches his defense until last week against Kansas City, a defense that was porous.
But last week, Dick, didn't they just shut down Okoye in that Kansas City team, and you thought they'd arrive, but they're having their same problems today.
And on every play, the Raider running back doesn't meet resistance until he's 5 yards into the secondary. Rolling and Richard are the tacklers.
Now that was smart running by Craig. He just felt his way along the line of scrimmage, found a little opening, and got his pads through it. Now you see he wants to go over the right guard position. Now watch him bend slightly outside, then break between people. Now that's experience. Roger's been in the league a number of years. He gets a feel for just where to follow the blockers into the hole.
4 carries for 25 yards. That's a 6-yard average early. He's averaging only 3.1 in the first 5 games. On second and short, it's Schrader to throw. And Galt, no catch.
Now Galt had to make a great catch on a routine throw. Now this is the criticism of Jay Schrader. The ball should have been thrown softer, more catchable, and Galt was stationary, and Schrader led him. So that's get your receiver banged up, but now that's a play that Schrader should make, no question about it. And that's the criticism, the short touch type passes.
Just under 48% on the season.
And what happens, the coaches are hesitant to call those plays because the results aren't forthcoming.
Still third and short. A long yard with Tim Brown in as the slot to the right. And to give to Smith. Men in the backfield. Charging through with Seau.
Seau blitzed right into the hole. Right into the hole.
And it's a third down play. And remember Junior yesterday saying, boy, I hated it last year. They took me out on third down.
Seau blitzed right through the hole here. And they call the right defense for the right play. But as you pointed out, Dick, is this guy strong and physical. 250 pounds. He looks like he weighs 190.
Here comes Mr. Offense, Jeff Jager, in to try a field goal. A familiar sight in Los Angeles. It's just shy of 40 yards. Gossett to hold. 4 for 4 last week. He's made 12 of 13 on the season. And that's 11 in a row for Jager. Another 3 for Los Angeles. 4:39 left in the opening period. Till he was 7 when his family moved to the Southern California area from American Samoa. 250 pounds, and he can run a 4.6. Jager, who has kicked the first field goal of the game to Nate Lewis, who had a big return on the opening kickoff, and here he goes again, all the way to the 36-yard line before he's harnessed by Elvis Patterson. A 30-yard return to go with his 56-yarder to open the game. Chargers with the ball, Raiders with the lead. Timeout. Draft light 10-minute ticker. Houston about to go 4-1 with Chicago losing and Detroit winning. The Lions at 5-1 lead the Central. The Jets, boy, they're talking, even the Raiders, about how good the Jets are. Tampa Bay with a squeaker today. Dallas and Seattle are winners. And the Giants leading early against Phoenix. Freeze dumps it off in the flat. And it's Marion Butts, the fullback, out to the 42-43-yard line. The 248-pounder from Florida State, his first call.
Came in late, got in behind Bernstein because of it. but he came in great condition. So these two are real assets to the team.
Second and about 3, and Butt struggles on his own to gain almost the necessary yardage for a first down. Howie Long wrapping him, led the NFL, 1,225 yards. Fake the Butts, Freeze wide open, the tight end. It's Arthur Cox, and he has a first down at the Raider 46-yard line. Tom Benson, the tackler of the year, and John Freeze with his first completed pass has a first down at the Raider 45. This is the first down, in fact, for the Chargers in the game. Play action didn't fool the Raiders and got it away in time and complete to Butts, as it was Greg Townsend shooting through untouched.
Townsend was untouched. San Diego came out with 3 wide receivers to surprise the Raiders. The Raiders got the nickel defense in right away, and here comes Townsend unblocked. Now that's the design of the play, because Freeze was supposed to throw it before Greg got there, but Greg is so quick, so massive, he just overwhelmed John Freeze.
That picture taken after one of his 3 sacks this year. He is the leader of the Raiders in that department for the past 5 years.
The Chargers now have 4 wide receivers in the game, trying to play a little different style.
Second and 10. Swarmed, it's Anthony Smith shooting in from the right side.
Well, what's wrecking the Chargers are the Raider defensive backs. They're all over those Charger receivers, hammering them at the line of scrimmage, and Freeze loses his poise. He wants to throw left, and he sees all that contact, and then he takes his eye off it, looks somewhere else, and by that time, he's in all kind of trouble. All kind of trouble. Anthony Smith.
What did Howie Long say about him?
Well, he's a pass rusher. He's not a run defender. Howie thinks he can get 20 sacks in a year, but he's got to grow up related to his maturity in the game, because all he thinks about is rushing the passer. He doesn't play the one nearly like Howie would like him to.
Freeze going deep. Almost caught. Fingertip try by Nate Lewis.
Now that was well done by Freeze. Perfect shot down the field, had his poise, and right at the end of the play, Lewis just reached a little bit too early. He jumped for it, another stride, and he might have had it. Now that was well done, good shot, but unfortunately it's a 3rd down play. So here's the punt again.
Working against Lionel Washington, John Kidd makes his 3rd appearance in this first quarter as the punter. Tim Brown just outside the Raider 10.
You just can't wait till 3rd down and go to those things. 1st and 10, take a shot at it.
Brown's going to let that one go. And it kicks into the end zone. And that's something that has disappointed Dan Henning and Kidd, getting a chance to drop it inside the 10. Instead, it's the Raiders starting at their 3rd possession. And their best field position starting at their 20 this time, leading 3-0 on a 39-yard field goal by Jeff Jager, who accounted for all the points last week in a 12-6 victory against the 49ers. Jay Schrader comes out with 4 wide receivers. A new look for Los Angeles. And then gives to Steve Smith, and the fullback gets 2-3, and a flag is down. Gary Plummer, playing with 2 pins and a fractured right thumb, made the tackle, number 50.
I don't know how Gary's playing with.
Number 66, offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Now Gary, from a small high school, small junior college, went to Berkeley, never thought he'd be a professional. One of 8 kids in a family, Dick. That's,
you know, and I
4 of his own coming.
Ian Butts, as they visited with us yesterday, they had such a smile in their eyes when they talked about the privilege of playing in the NFL.
Yeah, both guys came really from out of nowhere. One purely a blocker, and the other people just didn't think he had the ability. Here they are.
On 2nd and 20, Schrader from his goal line. Fernandez picks up about 10 before Plummer and Bayless can make the stop.
Fernandez totally uncovered in his own defense. In that case, Mervin should have kept running, and he stopped.
2 catches today give him 19 for the season. He leads the Raiders. The Raiders, despite the reputation of being a long bomb, stretch the defense team, have not thrown the ball very successfully under Art Shell. Of course, he was a running type guy. He liked to plow through. He likes that grinded out attack, and he says, hey, look at the record. We're winning despite the fact we aren't scoring. On 2nd and 10. Schrader being chased by Leslie O'Neal. He got it. O'Neal showing his speed from the backside. Only his 2nd sack this year.
All the way around Bruce Wilkerson, it was simply a foot race across the field. And Jay, of course, would have no idea he had a man right behind him. So Schrader's looking up the field. Now here's the foot race right from here with Leslie after Jay. Jay's looking down the field and doesn't see him.
So
doesn't even know he's there. Big
defensive play by O'Neal, who led the Chargers the last 2 years in sacks with 12.5 and 13.5. End of the quarter, 3-0. Los Angeles Chargers, the last couple of years, one of the most feared teams rushing the passer, and O'Neal and Bert Grossman leading the charge. You see their numbers last year, 23.5 sacks between them. O'Neal with a sack at the end of the quarter. That's only his 2nd this year, and Grossman has been very quiet as well.
I think the loss of Lee Williams, the trade of Williams to Houston, really has affected that entire front.
The Raiders, as we open the 2nd quarter, 3rd down and 16 from their 19-yard line. And Schrader deep down the middle, wide open is Brown, and he can't get to it. Tim Brown.
Now that was a beautiful throw and just inches from the big play. That's the kind of thing that's been absent from the Raiders. Brown's got the speed, and it's overthrown by a foot or 2. Now just turning his head like that can slow a receiver down. Often you teach them when Tim should have just lowered his head and sprinted, then found the ball again.
Gossett's first punt was 52 yards. Kittrick Taylor, this one's much shorter, comes up to fair catch the ball on the Raider 49-yard line. Well, you folks, especially in the East, their greatness where America needed a hero. Babe Ruth at 9 tonight. That'll be worth seeing. Hope you'll be with us on NBC. Marion Butts upended.
Well, Marion made the mistake of leaving his blockers. Eric Moten and Harry Shane were leading on that basic trap play.
3-0. The Raiders leading the Chargers early in the 2nd quarter. 2nd and 10. Butts to the left side. Some running room. Breaks a tackle. And a first down at the 35 of Los Angeles for Marion Butts.
Jerry Robinson had a good shot at him, and Jerry, a 13-year veteran, knew what he was doing. Took a good stick that's given them field position and held the Raiders off. This is their first chance to really have an offense.
Moving into field goal range, trailing 3-0. Here's where you say they should go for the play action pass.
See this, they wasted down in here. They've got to get to the end zone. And what they end up doing is having a 4th and 2 and having to decide what to do then. You've just got to take your...
Sometimes he wishes he was Doug Henning, the magician, the way things have fallen.
And typically, Ronnie Harmon is the key receiver here in the back, coming out of the backfield.
A draw, and it's Harmon. Some running room. And to the 25-yard line. He was not down at the 27 when he took the hit from Terry McDaniel.
When Ronnie comes in the game, when Harmon comes in.
Harmon, another ex-Bill, was an All-America at Iowa. Big 3rd down player. They really have an abundance of backs, running backs. 3rd and short.
Now this could... Yeah, he's going to throw the ball.
Play action. And complete to the 13-yard line to Steve Hendrickson, the ex-49er.
Well, that made sense. Now, not so much throwing to Hendrickson because he's certainly not much of a receiver. But it was 3rd and 1, and you knew Henning was going to go for it on 4th down. So you might as well fake the run here. Well done. Good fake. And Hendrickson makes the catch. Now, Hendrickson's a guy that I personally drafted for the 49ers to be a special teams player. An excellent student at Berkeley, sharp guy, but with crazy dimensions. He's 6 feet and about 255 pounds, and he ran like 4.55. Amazing quickness for a guy his size. And he didn't work out with the 49ers, and now they've got him playing H-back.
Draw play to Harmon. And he's inside the 5-yard line before Ronnie Lott. And Redskins, now a Charger, is an eligible receiver as he lines up on the left side. That would be something if they threw to May. On second and short, Rod Bernstein. He is at the goal line. Touchdown.
Does he have body length? You rarely see a 6'3" running back, but when he got his pads down, that body lean took him right into the end zone. Look at the last 3 or 4 strides and see the difference between Bernstein and other backs. Look at this drive and lean, and that makes the difference. That pass that Schrader had poorly thrown, and the Raiders get in this kind of trouble. They don't score.
Carney adds the point. It's the Chargers going 48 yards in 7 plays. Bernstein for the score. In Los Angeles, the Raiders' den since 1982. Todd Marinovich wearing Kenny Stabler's number 12. Will he be the next star of this team? Last season, the Raiders proudly gave up only 4 rushing TDs. Gave up 3 in the opener this year against Houston. Shut out the next 3 opponents, but then today give up the Rod Bernstein run 4 yards. Carney line drives it. It's Jamie Holland, former Charger, out to about the 28-yard line. Eric Bieniemy from Colorado made the tackle. Bert Gross.
So much talking as a rookie. He got headlines every time he opened his mouth. Now he says 0-5. I just can't say a word, and I can understand it. He shouldn't say a word.
Schrader has Willie Gault wide open. A flag down at midfield as the tackle is made. 24 yards if. Sammy Seal, the defender, and the ex-Raider.
Now that's why they've got Schrader. He can throw that kind of ball. The ball had to travel 50 yards.
Illegal contact foul. Number 57. Defense. Penalty declined. First down.
Henry rolling.
Schrader had to throw the ball across field, or he threw the ball across field. Didn't have to. And Gault's going to push up the field. Now break across and now make it a foot race. All the way across the field. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Now that's what Schrader and Art Shell and all of them want from the Raiders. Those big chunks of yardage to get that field position.
Nick Bell, the rookie from Iowa, in the backfield now with Steve Smith. Sayal, and he misses the tackle as he was blitzing, and it's Bell, 250-pounder. Boy, is he tough to bring down.
You talk about power. Now he comes in and he shocks you. 250 pounds. There are a lot of 250-pound backs, but this guy is a 60-yard sprinter, a college sprinter at the same weight. Look at him spin off.
Always wanted to be a Raider. In fact, he shared with us a picture he has in his room now. Age 4, when for Christmas he received a Raider uniform that he proudly wore.
That
dream
used to be,
comes true.
That's Ike Lassiter's number 5.
In those years, yeah.
Now, if that was his hero, look out. Ike was the meanest guy ever to be a Raider. But Nick Bell, a graphic design major in college and graduate from Iowa. Graphic design. He's going to take up painting in the off-season. He says arts gives him a chance to have his own style, his own way to express himself. Really a special guy. Brighter than a... Boy, he's bright, articulate, and 250 pounds. That helps a little.
34-inch waist and 30-inch thighs. Look at the power generated there. So he's got the body and the brain to be a real good one. Schrader. Incomplete to Gault at the 31.
Those are the things that hurt. He sprints left, throws right, and Gault wants the ball in his hands. Typically, Gault, as a Bear, Gault caught all with his body. But with Fred Biletnikoff, obviously a Hall of Fame great Raider, caught beautifully with his hands. Now, Fred likes the camera. But when Fred catches this ball, let's just take away, just look at the way Fred catches it. Those open hands way out in front. That's what he wants from all his receivers.
On second down, it's Bell on a sweep. Twisting and carrying 3 Chargers to the 37-yard line. Sayal and Bird, a couple of them. There's Biletnikoff, who wore 25 so brilliantly with the Raiders, the Hall of Famer.
Coaches really, his players really respect him, and naturally he's been a block of ball. I haven't seen anyone else make catches like that. Even Jerry Rice didn't handle the ball the way Fred did.
And catches it like a baseball.
Yeah.
Third down and a long 7. going long and wide open. Golden just in time. Stanley Richard interference. And that's going to be a big penalty. That'll be about a 36-yard penalty. The rookie Richard from Texas coming in late had to come from about 30 yards away to make the play and was just a little too soon.
Well, he played it well. He sprinted just at the right time, showed that he's worth a #1 draft choice because he covered the entire width of the field to make that play.
Pass interference, number 24, defense. Automatic first down on the half-yard line.
But Gil Byrd was just outrun on that, and he gets there just an inch early, just barely early. But this is why they drafted Stanley Richard, because he can cover the field.
So 4 shots for the Raiders from a foot away to regain the lead. 36-yard penalty. It's to the rookie Bell. He doesn't get in. Rolling and Hinkle and others to make the tackle. Flag is down.
Now Henry Rolling on the tackle.
Now this spot on the field is where Marcus Allen has been so great, as a Roger Craig also, going right up over the top. And Bell that time didn't think over the top. He was going to power through. Really tough in that last couple of yards to run through tackles because everybody's playing so low. But Marcus here, he goes right over the top.
Number 88, offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ethan Horton guilty of the hold, so it'll be 1st and goal from outside the 10. Good protection. Touchdown to Horton. And a flag goes down, and perhaps Ethan Horton for unsportsmanlike conduct, taunt.
Well, Horton had Henry Rolling trying to cover the linebacker. And Horton went up the field, just nodded out, and then Rolling bit on it. It was an easy touchdown.
We have an unsportsmanlike conduct foul after the touchdown on number 88 for taunting, throwing the ball at the feet of a defender. 15-yard penalty on the kickoff.
Beat Henry Rolling.
They're trying to eliminate that stuff, and I completely understand. The officials are going to interpret the rule very, very specifically, but they want to take that personal vendetta stuff out of the game if they can, at least the appearance of it. But that was an easy enough touchdown. Linebacker versus tight end.
Jeff Jager adds the extra point. The Raiders are back in front 10-7 as they go 73 yards in 5 plays. Schrader to Horton for the touchdown. Off from the 20-yard line, the 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. So the Chargers should get good field position, although they let it bounce. Hits Elder right in the face mask, and he's out to the 30 and chopped down at the 32. Mike Jones, backup linebacker, with a hit.
We had a mismatch, basically. Henry Rolling here is going to cover Ethan Horton. And right at the line of scrimmage is where Rolling makes his mistake. He's too physical right there and loses position. And from now on, he's chasing and doesn't have the quickness that Horton does. So very well done against that defense, and Rolling was just at a distinct disadvantage.
One other late game on the ITT 10-minute ticker. The Giants build to a 14-point advantage against the Cardinals. 10-7 here with 7:49 left of the half. Rod Bernstein now. It's his turn at fullback, and Free's going to throw on first down. Flags are down, and Bernstein runs right into a pile of Raiders. Greg Townsend and Howie Long.
No one was open. Freeze had nowhere to throw the ball and couldn't quite make up his mind what to do.
It appeared to be Broderick Thompson.
Holding number 76. Offense, penalty declined, second down.
This is Howie Long coming off the ball, and there's the hand over there, right at that spot. That's holding, unless you're trying to get your arm out. There's big arguments over whether the blocker can't get his arm out of that position, and the defender almost forces him.
You're kidding me.
Oh,
you're kidding me. There are people are saying that shouldn't be holding.
We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in the competition committee in Hawaii discussing that.
Oh, my.
Good steak and lobster otherwise.
Freeze. And another flag down as Anthony Miller, who's had a quiet season thus far, picks up a good gain to the 38, but will it count? Might be roughing on Freeze. Let's see. Nope, another hold against San Diego.
Oh, gee.
Second and 23.
Just get part of it back now, John. Don't go for all of it.
He does to Ronnie Harmon. Good move by Harmon. Picked up a good chunk to the 35-yard line, where it'll be a third down and about 7. Jerry Robinson ran him out.
Now, you know, Ronnie Harmon's a case. Can you recall that drop pass in Buffalo that cost him a job up there? I don't know what year it was, about 3 or 4 years ago.
At
in the end zone at Cleveland, right? Cost him a job, and it's an emotional decision. Harmon's a fine player. He came out of college from Iowa as a fine running back. He's a great pass receiver, great open field player. So the Chargers are darn fortunate to have a guy like this. And he was given away, basically.
Right. He's rushing for a 6.6-yard average this year. On third down, Freeze hits McEwen, and he has a first down at the 44-yard line. So John Freeze putting together some decent passes here to complement the big running game.
Well, he stood right where he belonged on that pass. Right where he belonged. Now you'll see him trace straight back, 5 steps, hitch step, and he holds right in between all that action around him and keeps his eye downfield. So there are things he does that would give you reason to think this guy can be much like a Dan Fouts, maybe with not all that greatness, but he's built like Dan, he throws like Dan, he absolutely adores Dan from the standpoint of the way he played football.
Better looking than Dan.
Oh, well, Dan's gonna throw that one.
Freeze, incomplete.
As soon as we say something, Dick, as soon as we give a guy credit, because that one was forced in there, no question.
Ellison and Anderson were all over the intended receiver. So his mother, Minnie, watching in Plant City, Florida, will be disappointed. She won't be able to see her son play more. Harmon. Bob Golick got to him on the draw out to about the 47-yard line, bringing up third down and along 6.
I can't believe
Newhouse. Whoa, Townsend almost got him, and a good little flip to Harmon. And Harmon to the 30, to the 27, first down, San Diego. Robinson from behind made the tackle, 26 yards. Freeze showing some courage there.
he threw sidearm to get the ball off. He had to throw it under it.
And off the bench, it counts for 62 yards, 2 receptions for 41, 3 rushes for 21. Trailing 10-7, San Diego gives to Bernstein. And he is to the 24-yard line, a gain of about 4. Winston Moss made the tackle. A little push.
Fine NBC sports reporter and former NFL player.
Bernstein with the reception now. And he is to the 11-yard line. First down, San Diego.
Gee, that's a nice job. Courtney Hall, the center, pulled out on what you call a quick screen. They knew it would be man-to-man coverage. There'd be one man outside to cover the pass receiver. So Hall pulled down the line of scrimmage and made the key block.
12 yards on the play. Bernstein, of course, as a tight end at A&M and drafted as a tight end. He told us that he thought when San Diego picked him first, he'd be the next Kellen Winslow. Boy, his lights went on. Now he's about to be a star running back.
But you know, his problem as a tight end was his blocking was not aggressive enough. Now you see him with a ball under his arm. He's as tough and mean as you can get.
McEwen with a trap block. Bernstein broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and he makes 5 or 6 out of what should have been a yard loss. Howie Long from behind. At age 20.
Highest scores, highest mental scores of any professional at the Indianapolis Trials.
Give to Bernstein. Bernstein, who has 1 touchdown, The Raiders trying to rip the ball away, shy of the first down at the 4. Greg Townsend and company making the tackle. This drive started after the Art Shell Raider touchdown as Schrader hit Horton. Started back at the San Diego 32. They've now moved to 3rd down and 2, and well, make it 1 as they spot the ball at the 3-yard line.
The key here is 7 points, not 3. The Chargers aren't going to win with a field goal here.
Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. 3rd and 1. Chargers trailing 10-7. Final 2 minutes. First half. McEwen in motion. Bernstein holding to the 1. First down. Eddie Anderson there to stop the touchdown.
That's going over the top, and this guy at 6'3" can jump like a guy 5'11" or 10. He's such a superb athlete. Right up over the top of everything.
Anthony Miller way out to the left. Bernstein the only running back. It's about a 9-man line, and then that's Hendrickson in motion. Bernstein met by a sea of black.
Well, they ran to the open side of the formation. They ran to the Bernstein with that leaping ability. Now they may do it.
36 seconds left in the half. Freeze to throw. Oh, boy, nobody there. McEwen had fallen down, and wide open in the end zone, in the near corner of the end zone is Derek Walker, not a Raider, within 20 yards of him.
Well, that's not running a play often enough in practice.
3rd and goal with 27 seconds left in the half. 10-7 Raiders. Bernstein doesn't make it. Eddie Anderson, 33. And you could hear that collision.
Well, Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator, calls this the best free safety in the game today, and I have to agree with him. He does everything, and that hit was like a linebacker.
Timeout. Apparently the Chargers will go for a field goal. 0-5, and points are few. You take chances. Henning will forsake a sure field goal, and a tie at halftime. Goes for it. 4th and goal outside the 1.
Well, if Bernstein would start right and then bend back left, he'd have it.
It's a touchdown for the Chargers, although now it's marked as a touchdown. As going in underneath was Marion Butts. Oh, did he burrow under for the score?
Well, that was a great job, an excellent call by the coach. They were looking for Bernstein, I sure was, and Butts starts out real low and goes right up underneath everybody. And Ellison has a chance at him, but he just can't hold him.
Wasn't much to tackle. He was just up the point. That was an impressive drive. Carney makes it 14-10, San Diego.
Well, as long
Giants leading Phoenix 17-3 on the ITT 10-minute ticker. Carney to kick off to Grady and Holland. He may not want to kick it deep. No, he'll just shoot it down low, let one of those linemen fall on it, which is exactly what happens. And this half has come to an end as Dan Turk's chance for offensive heroics goes with that short kick. The Raiders had the ball less than 3 minutes in that second quarter as that ground game of San Diego's denying Schrader and company a chance to play.
Well, it was the 3rd down, the key 3rd down play on the Raider drive that Schrader failed to hit Galt. And it was a routine little 5-yard pass for a first down, but that stopped the drive. And so these are the kinds of things that keep just wrecking the continuity of the Raiders. They're playing good football from a team standpoint. The intensity is always there. The unity, the team, the bonding of the team, but they don't score.
Well, Dan Henning gambling on 4th and a long one. 4th and goal to get the touchdown. Didn't take the field goal in the tie. Has his first second half lead, or halftime lead, and will kick it off to the Raiders to start this second half.
The difference in corner speed of the Chargers is there. It's evident. Gil Byrd and Sam Seal do not run like the Raider receivers. They don't have the speed. And yet really the Raiders have have just missed a couple of big shots down the field, but that's where the advantage is for the Raiders. The speed, receiver versus corner.
Oh, Kearney will kick off from west to east toward the peristyle end with Sam Grady, number 85, and 82, Jamie Holland, deep for the Raiders. Leading 14-10, second half underway. Holland at the goal line. Dances to the 24-yard line. Donnie Elder made the tackle. Jay Schrader takes the field in the second half. He was 5 for 8 in the opening half, 60 yards and a touchdown. Had 36-yard interference penalty that could have been added to that total, so nearly 100 yards passing, but missed a wide open receiver on a deep throw down the middle as Tim Brown was on his way to a touchdown had the ball been there. Nick Bell, the rookie from Iowa, will start the second half along with Steve Smith. Galt and Fernandez, the 2 wide receivers, sent to the left, and as you look at Bell, Smith in motion, and they run that way with Smith throwing the lead block for Bell, who picks up about 4.
Now Bell in the first half had 2 runs that I noticed where he stopped and wanted to cut back. Now with some experience, he's going to just keep running. You don't stop and start in the NFL. You just keep trying to get positive yards. So it'll be interesting as we watch now to see whether he returns to sort of the habit of stopping and starting. He's just got to keep driving forward. And this is what Marcus Allen has done so well his career. Always sliding forward. Positive yards. Never stop.
Well, he's a positive person, Marcus Allen.
Boy.
Everything. Five yards for Bell on that first carry. And he gets it again. Well, he is strong. Lurches to the 31, leaving him 2 yards shy of a first down. Junior Seau with a tackle. Junior Seau, who played his college ball here on this turf for Southern California, said his biggest thrill thus far was when the Trojans beat Michigan in the Rose Bowl. He made the final sack to secure the win over the Wolverines.
Well, he had problems that first year because he just didn't adapt well. He played some good football, but he was an outside linebacker and he didn't really want to play inside. But now they've got him doing everything, inside, outside. This is one of the great athletes at his position, defensive position. He can do everything with 248 pounds.
And he's in there on third down. Said he couldn't believe they're paying me millions and I only play 2 downs. He's in there on third now this year. Schrader has the open man, Tim Brown, and a first down across the 45 to the 47.
Well, Darren Carrington lost Brown somewhere because it was the simplest thing you can do is break this man into the flat, and there should be a man right there covering him, and he loses track of him right there. So what Carrington did was he watched Schrader instead of Brown, and Brown was the guy to cover.
So in there as a nickel back, and Carrington unable to get the job done. Bell, Seau trying to rip the ball free, and Bell gets another yard into the San Diego half of the field.
When we left the game last week, the Seau family was outside, about 35 people with every kind of Charger outfit. Look at this. But what an intense family as far as the game. The loyalty they have and the following he has in the San Diego area especially.
A wide receiver in high school caught 71 passes in 1 season. Can you imagine him in an open field? 2nd and 6. Bell again. Bell peeling off tacklers for a first down. Or it's Smith this time to the 41. He's not exactly a small man at 6'1" and 240.
Well, he runs this 64 play, they call it, right in behind his lead blocker, Bell. Now they're taking a look at Bell as a blocker in this process because he's big enough to do that job.
Smith busier than usual. 5 carries today with 31 yards. Had only 66 yards on the season. Another Raider first down as they've taken the kickoff to start the second half and marched with precision. Another wide open receiver, and it's Grady caught from behind. There gives you an idea of the speed of Seau. There's an inside linebacker racing to the sidelines to catch an Olympic sprinter.
That's amazing. Now Gilbert took a chance when he came forward on this pitch pattern. Now watch Bird come up to make the stop. And Grady reversed it to the outside. Now Seau, how can you respond so quickly to a ball? He starts in on a blitz, then sees the ball in the air, knows just the angle to take. Look at this.
And that's a man 250 pounds carrying that kind of speed.
But Grady did a beautiful job of making Bird miss.
From the 19, first down. Well, met after a short game. Surge of Chargers, Plummer and Bayless spearheading it.
Bell does not appear as quick as I expected. He's got plenty of power, good speed, but he's not that nifty of a guy. Of course, he's 250 pounds also.
You're talking about that first step quickness.
Yeah, just the quickness to respond to the guy that's challenging you.
Not much of a gain, if at all, so call it 2nd and 10. Schrader, lots of running room. And gets down at the 15 because Junior Seau was about to slam the door.
Well, they wanted Tim Brown in the corner. It was just well covered. Schrader did the right thing. Now, Seau covers a lot of a football field. If you ever traced every step he took, it would cover the field.
In a perfect world, where would Seau play?
I'd have him inside linebacker, protected.
Like Singletary, Butkus type? Or?
Right. The Raiders protect Benson that way. So you can't get a blocker to him. Now he's free to go to the ball.
3rd down, 7. So Seau from a 3-point stance, a throw, incomplete, no flag. It was for Tim Brown. And Donald Frank, second-year man from Winston-Salem State, diving in front of the receiver.
Frank had good position. Does a fine job here. Now you see him get back up underneath inside position, both going for a ball.
Fernandez, the man that tried to fight his way through that defense unsuccessfully. So field goal unit on. 34-yard attempt by Jaeger, who's made his last 11 in a row. Successful in the first half from 39 yards. Ooh, bad snap. Good job by Gossett. And the kick is no good. Yes, it is good. Just caught inside the upright. Just did skid that one through. Timeout. A 1-point game. High snap, and Gossett a great job getting it down, and Jaeger just did slide that one inside the uprights, and thank Gossett for a terrific catch and hold. It's 14-13 San Diego. The Chargers get the ball for the first time in the second half. This is Donnie Elder, and he's caught inside his own 15-yard line. So the Chargers start deep in their own end. Meanwhile, on our Hertz 10-minute ticker, the other late game, the Giants played 42 left in the third. The Raiders chewing up over 6 minutes with the opening drive to a field goal, the second by Jeff Jaeger, 34 yards to cut the Charger lead to 1. San Diego starts from its 14. Young John Freeze to Rod Bernstein, and the fullback running over tacklers. The umpire at all has a first down at the 25.
You've just got to give Courtney Hall credit for a good part of that run. He did a beautiful job as the center, and Bernstein broke off his block. And another job, David Richards did very well. So right up inside, those Chargers are doing an excellent job of blocking, and Bernstein just takes full advantage of it.
Well, that umpire has the most precarious of all jobs. He's standing right in there like a linebacker, and Dave Hamilton had to fight off the charge of Bernstein. Couldn't elude him. He kept following umpire Hamilton. First down. Lewis, wide receiver in motion. Freese dumps it off to Bernstein, and that was well read by the defense. But even then, Bernstein carries 3 tacklers for some yardage, and flags fly.
First and 3 from the 32.
Here's a spread formation. Freese with only Bernstein behind him. McEwen, the H-back in motion. Incomplete.
Gee, I don't know where that one was going, Dick. Now, these are the key downs now. And, gee, where Freese was going there, he had 2 receivers that looked at each other and said, where was it going? Now, here's Long with that arm over the top.
I see now. That's not holding. I know. I got it. Of course that's not holding.
It's the arm over the top technique.
See, he was trying to get that arm. As you explained, he's really trying to get that arm away.
He won't let you do it.
And Howie, if he just relaxed, then you could drop that arm, but he forces you.
Howie was holding with his own neck.
Now I understand the holding and no holding call. The mystery has been solved. 2nd and 3. Open McEwen again, and Eddie Anderson makes the hit, but not until the Chargers have a first down at the 40 on a 9-yard pickup. 7 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, and San Diego leading here in Los Angeles 14-13.
Well, if the Chargers don't botch here, if they don't mess it up, they've got good field position, and they're still obviously they're ahead by 1 point, but they're still competitive.
But you're talking like a San Diego Charger fan. That's exactly what they've been thinking for the last 3 years. Now, they just don't mess it up. But so often, 6 and 10, 6 and 10, 6 and 10, and now Owens 5, trying to win the first of the year. They find a way not to win. Little delay, and it's Bernstein. Hit, but he falls forward for a yard. Winston Moss, number 99 from
Now,
Miami,
Moss is really the addition the Raiders, the big addition this year. They acquired Ronnie Lott, who's done a fine job. Roger Craig, a fine job. But Winston Moss is right at the peak of his career, or will get better. The other guys are sort of descending. Moss does everything, and he blitzes so much better. Art Shell said, we didn't think he could blitz. Now we find out he's the best blitzer on our team.
Ronnie Harmon is in on 2nd and 9 for San Diego. Harmon gets the call. Good move to get away from Ronnie Lott. He left Lott frozen. And finally, it's Jerry Robinson riding him down at the 48, 49-yard line.
Ronnie Lott had him dead to right.
San Diego 49, 3rd and 3. Freese, not a runner, but good enough here to get to the 40-yard line, and a first down for the Chargers. So John Freese, 11-yard gallop.
That was a gallop. That did look like Dan Fouts. Now, that's one I can relate to. But everybody was covered. Play pass.
And it is down to the 25, incomplete.
The ball just took too long to get there.
Anthony Miller with the coverage from Terry McDaniel, and I don't know, Bill, at times the strength of his arm, maybe it's just he's trying to be so careful.
Well, Dan Henning said his biggest problem is the play pass, and so did John Freese. He comes with his head around, and he's just slow getting the ball off. So that'll take more practice and maybe an improvement of his mechanics. But he had Miller open and got the ball there too late. That's the bottom line.
2nd and 10. 4:09 left in the 3rd period. San Diego by 1. Handsome young man, this Freese, and polite, well-mannered from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Watch out. Wisely throw it away. Howie Long and Greg Townsend looking for an interception.
Well, Benson was over there. Townsend, they just read that screen like they thought about it coming into the game, like they were ready for it.
Let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker.
Knock tells it at Seattle. He can lose half his team and still manage to come out and be competitive and win their share.
On 3rd and 10. Freese can't get away from Howell and Greg Townsend. Long got there first. Townsend will get credit for the sack.
And that really hurt. Moten let Howie get inside of him, let Long get inside of him, and that's all it took. Right from this position, you'll see him come right up underneath. And Townsend, of course, will come from the outside, but you see Long come right up inside there and beat Moten to the spot.
Yeah, and Townsend picks up the leftovers. That might be one of those half sacks for each. So Kidd in to punt. He'll kick from around his own 40. Tim Brown will let it go. And into the end zone again. And that is a bad pattern for John Kegg. We have a timeout. 3:39 left in the third. 20-yard line. Those of you who have enjoyed Mark and Brian at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and they're the Walter Middies, they're the George Flynn, there they are. Goodness, Bill Waltz, they've joined us here in our broadcast booth, and tonight they'll play the role of firemen. They take real life drama. They're able to place themselves everything from the Temptations to Deliver a Baby, but they thought that was tough. Now they live out a dream to become NFL broadcasters. They join us in our booth. They've been working, well, actually throughout their career for this big moment, and they'll have it after this next play from the 20-yard line. I'm getting nervous just getting the introduction out of the way. And of course, you'll see this part of the big NBC special later this year. The quick throw outside is complete. And Mervin Fernandez has a first down at the 35-yard line.
Another gamble by Bird to make a play on the outside, and again, it almost cost him a touchdown. There's a simple out pattern. Watch him come forward for the interception, and he almost blows a touchdown trying to make the big play for himself.
So at the 35-yard line, first down for the Raiders, 15 yards in the pickup for their leading receiver. Bill and I are going to live out our dream to have that 7 o'clock program someday. Maybe it's Fernandez dropping, and here's Mark Bryan.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Bill. We'll do the very best we can to keep you up to date with the game.
This show is actually going to be like a documentary on your lives, so I hope you enjoy it.
All right. Welcome again to the Coliseum, where the Raiders are taking on the Chargers. At this point, Schrader has given us the kind of game we would expect him to give us. We have the ball 2nd and 10 on the 35-yard line. Schrader is 8 for 12, 113 yards and a touchdown. Split outs to both ends. Schrader takes a look at the defense. He's back, hands the ball off to Nick Bell, who will get very little of anything.
Nick Bell, as you know, known for his 2nd, 3rd, and sometimes 4th efforts. That time it didn't get him many yards, but he will not give up unless he's got 3 or 4 guys taking him down.
Martin Bayless on the stop for San Diego, and frankly, we have been watching films and plugging into San Diego, and for an 0-5 team, they have played much better football than you would think.
Yeah, it's like what you have here is an 0-5 team much better than their record, and a 3-2 team not much better than their record. That's why this is going to be, should be a good finish.
3rd and 9, Raiders on the 36-yard line. Wideouts to all sides. Schrader
all of them.
Everybody's
bunch
wide
of sides.
out.
Everybody's.
We should be wide out. That'll be offsides on somebody.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yellows everywhere. Maybe some action from Don Mospar.
Looks like Sayo was offsides.
We have an illegal procedure foul. An illegal snap on number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It was Don Mospar who stepped off sides there, which will bring us to...
Yeah, they were drawn off sides. The center moved. Started hiking the ball a little too early, drawn off sides.
So we resume with 3rd and 14. Raiders have the ball on their own 31-yard line. 14 yards for a first down. You could expect a high pass here.
And I guess I'd make mistakes if I had a guy's hand up my butt all night long.
Raiders are 1 and 5 on 3rd down conversion. Schrader's looking downfield, throws, and it is complete.
Nice catch.
Complete to Tim Brown. A fabulous grab in a whole bunch of territory. Anthony Shelton covering an 18-yard pickup for the Los Angeles Raiders. As you can see, Tim Brown with some fine movement here.
All right, Tim Brown gets open. He is far ahead of the defender, and a nice catch. Those passes are hard to catch when they're around the knees like that, and did a fine job.
Tim Brown.
All right, we're going to get out of here and get Dick and Bill back in here.
Guys, it was short, but thank you very much.
Good job. I like the enthusiasm you used there, Mark. And a good call on that. Nice diving catch by Tim Brown.
You taught us well.
Too good.
You taught us well.
You'll be able to enjoy them tonight at 7 o'clock, and their football feature will be sometime next month.
Schrader looking for something big, eludes the pressure. And it's Fernandez again with a catch at the San Diego 42. Just shy of another first down. Stanley Richard, the rookie defender.
Schrader was all but tackled, The play was read well defensively. You see him fake the reverse, but now here we go. And he has to make a big play. Gilbert had him dead to rights, blitzing off the corner, and missed the tackle. Now Schrader did a heck of a job of throwing that ball too, because he had to throw it about 35 yards to make 10.
Are we starting to sound like Mark and Brian? I'm not quite sure.
I picked up some ideas. Terry O'Neill never told me these things.
It's Nick Bell. Just a bludgeon effort in the middle of the line and close to a first down as a very fast third period ticks away. The end of the quarter is hammer time. 14-13 San Diego. MC Hammer. His move's almost as good as Barry Sanders. Part of the stars that come out to follow the Raiders. James Garner, of course, a regular since their Oakland days, the birth of the team. To the fourth quarter, Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. A ball at the 41-yard line of San Diego. The Chargers hanging on to a narrow 14-13 lead, and the Raiders within a first down of a Jeff Jager field goal. Remember, the Raiders all season, preseason, regular season, that accounts for 10 games, have not scored more than 17 points in a game, and they're sitting on 14-13 right now. 13 for them.
It's really hard to believe. They've depended so much on Jager to kick for him. Well, now they've got the good position, short yardage. They have to start breaking through as an offensive team. This could be it.
It's Roger Craig. Haven't seen him since the first quarter. And with those fresh legs, he easily has the first down at the 34. And there was Bayless and Bird left between Craig and a touchdown.
Well, he wore him down with Bell. Then suddenly Craig's in the game with his quickness. He'll start in behind Smith. Watch him bend outside. Smith does a beautiful job. Gosh darn, what a blocker, number 35. Roger Craig just read it and bent right off it. So you have to give the fullback all kind of credit for his great blocker.
Well, he wiped out the free safety.
It's just great to see. It's just a beautiful football.
Knifing and fumbles the ball, and San Diego has it. This could be a touchdown. Only Schrader to beat. Henry rolling with it. And Schrader knocks the ball free, but it goes out of bounds. San Diego at the 13-yard line. Oh, my, what a turnabout. As Craig fumbles and Henry rolling, the linebacker, rolls 53 yards to the 13 of the Raiders.
The ball came out so late. You don't know if Craig was down or not, but everything seemed to stop. Here's the handoff. Craig's in pretty good position right here. He is, well, the ball came out early. He wasn't completely down. It doesn't appear that way.
Rolling, you San Diego fans will remember last year went 67 yards against the Cleveland Browns. Running out of gas here, and Schrader with
by instant replay.
Well, Schrader did a masterful job of just being alert enough to see it, then taking the right angle to pick his guy off.
Joe Phillips was the man who stripped the ball away. And rolling, the man on the spot for San Diego. So with a 14-13 lead in definite jeopardy, it would appear, unless the review people see something we don't, that San Diego.
After further review, the play stands. First down.
And San Diego now has a chance to fortify its lead.
This is what happens to San Diego. They don't do it to somebody else.
That's exactly right. What a good point.
For the last 3 years, this has happened to them.
You know, the last time San Diego won here in the Coliseum, the only time they'd beaten the Raiders since LA moved here in '82 was in the strike year. And Elvis Patterson, then playing for the San Diego strike team, intercepted a pass late in the game, went about 90 yards for a touchdown. Coming from behind. Freeze from the 13. Wide open, Ronnie Harmon, no one near him, and Harmon struggles to the 6-yard line. Eddie Anderson late getting to him, whether that was Anderson's man or not.
Well, they may have been trying to hide the coverage, but Anderson may not have wanted to show what his job was. But now you'll see Harmon here. I'll take it out. Now watch Harmon come through and cross the field, and there'll be no one there to cover him. No one to cover him. I guess Anderson had the coverage, but he was hanging very, very deep in the middle, trying to hide the coverage, I guess. But that was just a perfect call. Maybe San Diego knows something.
2nd down and 3. Ronnie Harmon productive again. It's Marion Butts who has one of the 2 touchdowns. The whistle is blown. They stripped it away, but they're marking the ball down at the 3-yard line. No fumble. Howie Long in the thick of that.
Well, it had to be the whistle because the ball just popped right straight up in the air.
They've blown the whistle here.
The whistle's blown. Then they pull it out. Yeah, no question the whistle had blown.
Ronnie Lott was the man reaching in to pull it free. Timeout now for the measurement. Bull receiver as he bookends the left side of the line with the entry to Arthur Cox May filling that role. Bernstein, 1st down to the 2. 1st and goal, San Diego, with 12.5 minutes left in the 4th.
Anderson and Ricky Ellison did a fine job of just scraping right to the ball, but they couldn't stop a 2 or 3 inch gain, basically. But right from this point, it'll be tough for the Chargers.
Well, they had trouble and had to go for it on 4th and goal from the 1 at the end of the 1st half. And Butts was able to plow straight over the back of the center, Courtney Hall, for the touchdown that gave the Chargers a 14-10 lead at halftime. Fake to Bernstein, the throw to Harmon, touchdown. No, it's Marion Butts. Butts was the other back, and he hauls it in for the score.
Well, Freeze every once in a while shows a little touch of class. He really does. That time the
San Diego a touchdown plus advantage, and Carney just gets it through. Timeout. 11, who has his first touchdown reception of the season, and the Chargers lead by 8. So Jay Schrader, who has not passed well this year, is going to have to put it up. Carney, after the 15-yard penalty, able to hit short. A flag is down, and ooh, what a hit and a fumble at the 15-yard line as Jamie Holland jarred loose from the ball. And let's see, Marion Butts right there. Sean Jefferson comes up with the ball. What's the call? Flag is down. There may have been offside on San Diego anyway, but near side, Holland on the far side for the Raiders to return.
Still way up in the air to try to get there before the blocking gets there.
Holland gets to the 25-yard line. Now let's check the Schick Tracer 10 minutes with 1 touchdown pass. And the Chargers loosen up their defense looking for the throw. To Steve Smith to the 31-yard line, a pickup of 6. Junior Seau, Gary Plummer collaborate. Seau's had a good game.
He'll always have a good one, won't he? I mean, he'll always play well. Unless they keep moving him around to different positions every week.
2nd and 3 from the 32.
Got linebacker eyes, doesn't he? 2nd and 4, Schrader. Taking what they're giving him, the short ball. That'll be close to a 1st down as Roger Craig is hit by Seau and rolling.
McElroy and Wisniewski inside with Mosbar. Are they doing a nice job of protecting? Schrader's just sitting inside those defensive ends rush, and he's got that real solid support right up in front of him.
Yeah, both Wisniewski and Mosbar Pro Bowlers last year. Max Montoya, the veteran 3-time Pro Bowler, not in uniform today. They just finally decided Montoya's been struggling with a groin injury. Just rest him for a week or two. And Montoya's spirit kind of pushing his physical limitations at the moment, so they're not even going to dress him.
Well, McElroy's played so well that Montoya will have a tough time getting his job back.
Nice catch by Ethan Horton, who is in San Diego territory at the 47, 16 more yards.
You can't quarrel with that. Schrader, as you point out, Dick, is just taking what he's given, and he's going to get it's going to be a crossing pattern where he breaks to the outside and then just falls in to make the stop.
Like an outfielder sliding in to make a low catch and picks it off. A fine athlete at Carolina was Ethan Horton, as he twice led the ACC in rushing.
Big,
one pick.
Strong, straight line ball carrier when he was a running back.
And Al Davis and the Raiders saw him as a tight end, and he's starting to produce. Roger Craig to the 44-yard line. A pickup of a tough 3. Martin Bayless from Bowling Green makes the hit.
I'll tell you, you have to give Art Shell a lot of credit as a coach. He put Roger Craig right back in the game after a fumble like that could have been disastrous. But they've got confidence in Craig, but he's just demonstrating that, look, you're in this. Things go wrong, but we're not going to yank you. And they've got Roger Craig to the outside now as a wide receiver.
Just Steve Smith behind Schrader. Who's going? Incomplete and no flags. Willie Gault streaking from Sammy Seal. Seal said earlier this week he tried to play bump and run on Gault, but admitted no one has the speed to cover Gault.
Well, as soon as they're up 30 and 40 yards down the field, Seal just cannot make it, can't do it. And Gault jumps a little early, just a little early, but you can't fault Schrader for that throw. It was right on the money.
Well, that's some blind timing by Seal to be able to say, I'm going to go for him right now and make the hit without committing interference. His birthday today, and he can light a candle with that one. Sammy is winning on. Played here with the Raiders for 4 years. Tim Brown comes in as the third wide receiver on third down. And down goes Schrader. Incomplete, intercepted. It's Henry rolling again. And the linebacker fumbles, and who's got it now? The Chargers maintain possession, I believe. It might have been rolling, falling on his own fumble, and there's another little push and shove back at the 40-yard line.
Well, that took a series of crazy things to happen for San Diego to end up with this ball. Now Fernandez is going to break to the outside, and he's in pretty decent shape right there. The ball's low. Now he should have caught it to start with. Now once a guy that never handles the ball has it, he's got to protect it with both hands. And that time Rolling almost gave it back.
Well, Rolling has recovered 2 fumbles and intercepted in the last 3 plays or so.
Oh, Fernandez should have had that ball. There's all there is to it. The ball came to him waist high. He nonchalantly reached over to catch it.
Now Rolling, the big defensive plays for the Chargers. A fumble recovery and run of 53, and now an interception, and then recovering his own fumble on that interception. Timeout. 8:23. Chargers with an 8-point lead and the ball. Back to the Coliseum in Los Angeles, where this crowd sitting stunned as San Diego, charging after its first win of the year, leads by 8, and Henry Rolling's interception and his own recovery of a fumble at the 46-yard line of San Diego. And Bernstein goes to work with the Olsen and company, but not until Bernstein has about 7. So the Chargers, who started very slowly moving the ball, the last 4 possessions, doing very well, going back to a touchdown in the first half. Then they second down and 4. Bernstein, that fan blocking, breaking tackles again, and close to a first down at the Raider 44-yard line. Well, Ronnie Lott, the former player of yours with the San Francisco 49ers, has written a book currently on sale in which he's talked about you considerably, and today in the Los Angeles Times quotes about your depression after you won the Super Bowl in '81, learning that your players, some of them, were using cocaine, and that he felt that your life changed. Those two things, Super Bowls, you were never the same.
Well, I'm not sure of that, but my life changed when I learned of all those things, like all of us did.
But you proceeded, Bernstein, on first down to the 40-yard line. Did it shock you that when you found out?
Well, I think everybody in sports was shocked. Society was shocked at the rampant use of recreational drugs. And they were so difficult in those days to really understand and to identify. People would have symptoms and you wouldn't understand it. You'd think they had the flu, or their diet wasn't right, or they were having trouble sleeping. And so it was a problem. And
what'd you do about it?
Well, I can recall having Ronnie and Joe Montana, Keena Turner, Dwight Clark, a whole group of team leaders, to ask them to do voluntary drug testing to get everybody involved in it so we could treat it. And it worked to a degree. I think probably as well or better than any other club in the league. But since we've all become educated on recreational drugs, how they destroy you. And Ronnie never used and was offended at the thought of anybody using. And it was really a tough one, because if you mentioned it to somebody, they were sensitive that you're suggesting they used, or that you want to use them to stop it. It's most difficult in those days. And Ronnie was really a team leader. And I'd have to say, in my mind, he's the greatest defensive back to ever play the game, because he was all-pro at corner, all-pro at weak safety, and now he's playing great strong safety. No one's ever done that.
Third down 3. San Diego leading 21-13. Freeze has a wide open man, and the wide out Kittrick Taylor has his first catch of the season. No way the Raiders were expecting that. Taylor from Washington State has his first reception and a first down.
That play broke wide open. It baffled the Raiders. Nobody saw him come out of there late. That's the kind of thing, if you haven't seen on tape, you haven't studied it, when it occurs, you haven't talked to your team about it, and somebody failed to identify him releasing late like that.
So the Raiders perhaps having a emotional hangover after the highs of last Sunday in their defensive struggle with the 49ers in a 12-6 victory. Time running out against them. 4 minutes plus, and the Chargers pounding away on the ground. It's Butts again to the 30-yard line. And Art Shell wants to use one of his timeouts right now.
Well, they've just got to get the ball back.
4:24 left. And the Raiders bid for a first-place share in. Welcome to laid-back Southern California. Oh, they're into this game, aren't they? 21-13. I don't ever remember having that experience at a game. Do you ever? Did that ever happen?
They might have just been sitting here and they didn't realize there was going to be a game today.
And they're just here early for the concert, that November date. From the 30-yard line, second down and 9. Butts again, flags down, and Butts running through the defense of the Raiders. And if this isn't against San Diego, it's going to be right on the doorstep for Butts at the 4-yard line. Lionel Washington finally made the tackle, but flags thrown by an umpire and a referee.
Well, this is the point in the game where you want a good, honest call, not the phantom call that somebody.
We have 2 fouls on the offense. We have illegal motion number 65 offense. That penalty's declined. We have holding number 76 offense. Penalty accepted. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, we can't say that this has got lined up on it.
So Butts denied the 25-yard run. The ball back to the 40 for second and 20. 4:14 left. Raiders have to get the ball. Bernstein. They're tackling the ball. Bernstein a 5-yard gain as he's hit by Nolan Harrison, the rookie from Indiana, number 74, and Ronnie Lott.
The Chargers have really got the answer, and I think Kenny got this from Joe Gibbs, but of stretching that defense. Bernstein running toward the sideline and looking for any breach in the defense and then just taking and slashing through it. And they do a beautiful job of it.
Shell used a timeout with about 4.5 minutes to go. Doesn't use his second timeout here. He's got 2 left. Freeze.
I can't believe they'll throw here. I just can't believe it. There's no need to do that.
On 3rd and 15. Little delay for Harmon. And he's tackled at the 32-yard line. Bob Golick and company. Will they spend? Yes, they apparently going to spend a timeout here. With 3:19 left, the Chargers lead by 8. Art Shell has 1 timeout left. He's got to hunt for something special. I'm going to talk to Howie right after the game. That poor Broderick Thompson has to go home. John Kidd on 4th down, trying to drop a punt inside the 1, and they don't down it. Unable to hold on, Donnie Elder, number 28. He had it right on the 1-yard line. They're going to say it's down.
He's going to say it's there.
And meanwhile, Elvis Patterson's going to run all the way to the other end zone. The whistle must have blown, but Patterson says just in case, not a bad idea.
Well, there's no use worrying about Elvis for a while. I mean,
and they may want to review this one. Whatever is going to happen, the Raiders at best will have the ball at the 20 with 3:08 left and down by 8.
now, wouldn't it be a shocker if replay gave the Raiders a touchdown? That's a great job. He threw the ball out.
But the whistle does sound so Elvis Patterson can't pick up the ball. But the fact that he wasn't in control of it and threw it into the end zone, I would think, would be the touchback.
Right, it's got to be a touchback.
By the way, I just got word they were reviewing our on camera there, and they said that actually you were right all along.
The play was ruled dead on the half-yard line.
How could that be?
It's being reviewed by instant replay.
The ball bounced in the end zone before the whistle blew.
That's true. That's right.
Before the whistle blew, the ball bounced in the end zone.
So Elder in position on the 1-yard line did a good job. Catches the ball, but if he squats down
trying
there,
to get rid of it there, see?
But when he gets rid of it, he throws it into the end zone. Now the whistle blows, then it bounces back out. Well, wait, the ball did bounce back out.
Well,
once it crosses the goal line, doesn't
right,
matter. That's a touchback.
But if they'd have called the ball dead when he bounced it back there.
No, I think what the official didn't see was the fact that the ball landed in the
half-yard line.
See, I told
First
you.
down.
Just as I said, it's right.
Dick, you got a steel trap for mine. You really. But the ball had been caught and thrown back, and the official had seen it.
Perhaps the ruling is the ball is dead as soon as he catches it. Could that be?
Could be.
As soon as he catches the ball, but was he really in control of it? Don't you have to catch it, be in control? Well, we've got some NFL people here. I'm sure one of them will give us an explanation. But, you know, son of a gun, the phone isn't working.
Their phone isn't working?
That's always
off the hook.
I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah. This is a little sort of a tough duty here for Schrader.
And Shell, yeah, that's right. From the 1-foot line, couldn't get a tougher call.
I don't think it's going to matter an awful lot. The Raiders are going to have to score in 1 or 2 plays to even have a chance. Yeah.
All right, here's the ruling. The NFL people are accommodating us here on the call. And that once you have possession, both feet down, much like a receiver.
He's caught it.
He didn't have to throw it. If he could have kept right on running with it, I suppose. Both feet down and possession in the field of play is all that he needed. Now, you know, players are used to batting it back because they're trying to time it, leap over the end zone while in the air, bat it back in the field of play. And this is a case where he never was in the end zone.
The question is whether he really had possession, see?
Well,
you might have had it in that left hand for a second while he was trying to get rid of it. But Dave in the possession. This is our first fight, Dave.
I'm going to have nightmares about that not holding call. Though. That one bothers me.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go.
This one does too. It just seems ethically that that ball should be out on the 20-yard line. That he made a terrific play, but it did get thrown into the end zone.
Well, one way or the other, the Raiders got to get an awful lot done in 3 minutes.
99 plus yards to go. Couldn't get it closer to your own goal line. Schrader to Tim Brown. Gain of 2. Darren Carrington made the tackle.
Now that was a nice defensive play, because Brown has got all that quickness, and Carrington just kept his eye on him and went for the big part of the body. At that point, you grab anything you can hold on to.
The deep backs for the Chargers out near the 25-yard line. They don't want to give up the bomb with guys like Gold on the field. It's Ethan Horton, the tight end, a first down, but of course in the field of play, that clock continues to run. 2.5 minutes to go. Donald Frank, the tackler. No huddle for Schrader.
You just got to be careful of too soft a defense that allows the offensive player running room after he catches the ball. Once you start doing that, then some of these real quick guys can make big plays.
Raiders still have not scored more than 17 all year. Preseason and postseason. Juggled by Brown, intercepted by the Chargers, and the San Diego Chargers will win their first game of the year.
Can you believe that's 2 of them? 2 bobbled balls that were interceptions. Well, Henning will sleep tonight, finally. He'll actually read tomorrow's paper. Now this looks rather routine. Good protection. The ball's thrown nicely. It's right. Oh, gee. Tim Brown took his eye off the ball, wanting to run.
And it's Gil Byrd, the all-time interceptor in San Diego history. That's his 4th of the year, his 36th career interception, and Dan Henning can finally unloosen a bit and perhaps squeeze out a smile. And Gil Byrd will be able to go home tonight and tell those 2 young boys of his, 5 and 7, that when they ask him, Daddy, did you win today? Hopefully he'll be able to answer yes.
And they'll say, what does that mean?
Let's check the Schick Tracer 10-minute ticker and all the scores for you throughout the NFL today. And all the NFC Western teams had the day off, a bye. Tampa Bay gets a 1-point squeaker over the Eagles, who are struggling with their quarterbacks sidelined.
Dallas continues to improve.
Cincinnati 0-6. Wouldn't have thought that, would you? And the Giants now have won, beating Phoenix 20-9. So the Super Bowl champions are 3-3, and there's Gil Byrd from
San Jose State, the think tank of Santa Clara.
So with 2:04 left on the change of possession, it's academic now for Archell, who has a habit of winning at home. The crowd today, 46,029. Apparently those that made up 91,000 last week knew what was going to happen. Almost half the crowd of a week ago. And the AFC West race really tightens up as the leaders, Denver, lost today, and they're 4-2. The Raiders will go 3-3, and Kansas City tomorrow night will have a chance to share the lead. Seattle is 3-3. Shams, Marion Butts, and only one man to beat, Eddie Anderson. Twisting down at the 9-yard line, and the flag goes down.
And Butts stays in bounds. He skidded to a stop and went right back in the field. So he was thinking as he broke there. He knew he didn't want to stop that clock.
You know, several reporters and fans in the San Diego area asked me about Dan Henning, the Chargers, and the first thing came to mind after seeing them play against Kansas City last week was it's the first mark of if the coach is still in control, if the players are playing hard, and they've been playing hard.
Illegal hands to the face on the ball carrier, number 35, offense, 10-yard penalty.
Marion Butts using that forearm. That's a little extending the forearm rule.
It's a first down, and that's the minute warning.
And now the 2-minute timeout with 1:55 to go. Just
That's
can't go
so true.
on scoring 17 or less.
Well, they just fail to produce, especially throwing the ball. It's that simple. Guys would either drop it, mishandle it, the ball was thrown a little too hard. Something always going wrong with their passing game.
So 1st and 10. Actually, 1st and goal because of the penalty on Butts was marked off from the spot of the foul inside the 10. And Howie Long getting into it a little bit now with one of the Chargers, Eric Moten. Yeah, if you got one of those Canon camcorders, you can get those tough plays, the deflected shots. And here's our Canon camcorder replay of the game. Tim Brown unable to juggle it, and Gilbert, the veteran, with his 36th career interception to seal the win for the Chargers.
And as you saw that Tim Brown was not looking at the ball when it came down. He just was looking the other way, almost getting ready to run and try to make the big play.
Well, that bus ride, and they did bus up from San Diego, about a 100-mile trip, will be a happy one for the Chargers. Raiders spend a timeout with 1:35 left. Eddie Anderson just limped off after that last play. And Bird is a ball hawk. 7 interceptions the last several years and 4 already this year. Coming up after our coverage on NBC, we'll give you that lineup. But first, we want to talk about next Sunday, NFL Live at 12:30. Cleveland and Washington. The Redskins at home with a 6-0 record. Cincinnati and Dallas. Indianapolis goes up against Buffalo. Miami plays in Kansas City. Short week for the Chiefs. They play tomorrow night. Houston, impressive today. So are the Jets. That'll be a bang-up game. And the Chargers, we'll see if they can use this victory to move on against the Los Angeles Rams at Anaheim.
I bet the Chargers do it on the Rams. I really do. The Chargers do so many things well, and they're strong, they're physical, and they just got to clear their minds of all those mistakes they've been making.
Henry Rolling, 3 tackles, an interception, a fumble recovery. He's kept Billy Ray Smith on the bench, and Tim Brown, actually, it was tough luck for Schrader. The 2 interceptions looked like they were his fault. They were both receivers juggling the ball into the defense. And 2nd down. Bernstein to the 12-yard line, and the Raiders cannot stop the clock.
Bernstein takes so many shots and keeps spinning off.
You know, a big man like that usually exposed to fumble the ball because there's so much there. He can't protect. Butts is a different kind of ball carrier, and he didn't fumble all last year, but Bernstein really maintains control and takes some wicked shots.
In a sense, he's like Chuck Muncie, but I think he's quicker than Chuck was, although Chuck Muncie had a great career.
You having to watch that Babe Ruth tonight, 9 o'clock. A special movie, and Ty Cobb played by Pete Rose. He makes his debut. There's the whole lineup. Mark and Brian were with us today, shared a couple of plays on our telecast. We'll start it off at 7 o'clock Eastern time and 7 here in the West. Marion Butts down at the 10-yard line with 40 seconds left. They don't have to run another play. San Diego and gather around Coach Dan Henning and celebrate the end of an 8-game losing streak, their first victory of this season.
Well, if they were going to win, the Raiders is as good as any because it's a big game to the Chargers and, I guess a certain amount of self-esteem. They beat one of the best in the Coliseum.
Do you think the Raiders at 3-3 will make any drastic changes?
No, I don't think they will. They'll just keep working. People have to, some great players with great histories have to make plays. They're not making them.
Final seconds down to 32, and the clock is stopped, perhaps for an injury here, but then they'll rewind it. John Freeze perhaps coming of age today. Bill, probably his best game.
His best game, and he feels what a victory is, leading a team to victory, and he did that today. There's a lot of talent there, but again, it'll be 2 or 3 years before it even approaches a Dan Fouts style football.
And one play from the end of the game, you had to see a player injured, and Bob Golick now finally gets up. Golick was the injured Raider and able to leave under his own power. And apparently Howie Long, remember, went to rescue of his defensive line mate, and Golick acting as though somebody got him from the blind side. And it might be just as well that this game's going to end.
The Raiders have just got a bevy, so many of the top players historically in the game in recent years, and individually have just got to play better. There's a lot of conversation about it, but they just have to do it.
Now they'll wind the clock, and the Chargers do not need to run a play. So the final 30 seconds will tick away, and San Diego is able to come away with the upset of the day in professional football. They were more than a touchdown underdog, and they win by 8 points, 21-13. And that running tandem of Rod Bernstein and Marion Butts will continue to terrorize opposing defenses, win or lose. And John Freeze, we'll see how much can build off the win. Well, apparently the Chargers didn't quite get the play in time. The 45 seconds run down to 5, so a delay of game with 5 seconds. So Freeze has to have a snap of the ball.
Well, he's over there having a confab with Henning with 5 seconds left. That's an easy play to call right there.
The Raiders, one of the toughest teams to run against, and Butts and Bernstein combined for 112 yards today. And just enough, and then Freeze taking advantage of a couple of defensive plays by Henry Rolling, a fumble recovery and an interception to give his team a welcomed win. He was 12 for 22 today. Gives to Butts, and Marion Butts. Ronnie Lott got to him first, and the game ends at the 9-yard line. We'll be back with a look at this game, perhaps a rundown of all the scores for you as well. San Diego defeats the Raiders, an upset in LA.